Hi there. My name is Theo Kirkley. I'm 33 years old. I'm bald as fuck. I'm super fat. I've got some problem here on a in a valve above my heart. It's been dogging me for about 3 months now. I've got major heart issues, is what I'm saying. I can feel it frequently. I've had heart issues ever since I was 18, 19. Sorry for the pause. This happens a lot when I'm trying to make a video. I think of other things. Um, the thought track that I just had to do with it's all about how I really shouldn't be making this video. That's what it's about. And I can explain that later, but I'm going to stick to my guns here. uh, I have very little drive in my life. I just wake up and go to work and come home, and the rest of the time I have, I spend playing games on my phone while listening to conspiracy theory radio. I had a dream of making a movie, but I realized that a lot of other people have that dream, and at this point, I don't think it's really going to happen because, you know, frankly, I don't have the drive that I think I need to have. I think I have a good idea, but I don't think that I can pull it off. So my dreams are kind of dust at the moment. I don't know where I'm going. My prayer life is almost non-existent. Uh, I don't know if I'm going to die soon, but I feel like my life is generally a failure. And I feel like, with the path that I'm going now, with my heart being in the state that it's in, with my struggles over my weight not disappearing, um, you know, eating the way that I've eaten and having the body that I've had, the trajectory, the the trajectory of that is it's a downhill slope. So I want to tell you about my mother. My mother is one of the best mothers, so called, that you can have. My mother is a great cook. My mother took care of myself and my sisters um, with a lot of love and passion, you could say. I find myself stumbling over those words because I doubt now if it is love and passion. I remember when I was young, my mother would ask me to vacuum because I said I was going to vacuum. And I would watch a TV episode and I'd say, Mom, I'm on my way. And 30 minutes later, she'd ask again, Hey, are you coming? And I'd say, Well, I'm just finishing this one episode. And then an hour later, I would hear the vacuum upstairs. And that was her vacuuming because I had no discipline. I had no discipline. Uh, but my mother was a great cook. I remember one thing that she did was she would, and now I'm thinking, this video is not going to even work because I have a fan on, and there's probably fan air that's blowing into the microphone, and I'm going to find out that this whole video is a waste of time, and I think maybe, that is a thought that I have that makes me want to stop making this video. And you might think, well, what does that have anything to do with this, Theo? And I think it has something to do with it because I think that spirits can help influence you in certain directions to stop you doing certain things. And I think that might be what's happening now. And I can't, never seen a spirit myself that I know or that I remember, so I'm not going to say that's what it is, but a lot of my research and studies have suggested that that's very much a thing. So more on my mother. I remember one thing that she did. She would bind our textbooks. She would get paper bags, paper grocery bags, and she would cut them up, and she would put a binding around the textbook to keep it, um, you know, safe from scratches and marks. And we took very good care of the textbooks. I remember one time trying to do it myself and just not being as good as her, and thought, I can't do this. I can't do this. And that was a theme throughout all of my life. I could never be quite as good as my mother. I couldn't cut apples as fast as she could, so why should I even try? I would sleep in my mother's bed until I was in my lower teens. Never really had my own room. I suppose that's by choice. When I didn't finish a homework assignment, my mother would finish it for me. I'd wake up the next morning, it was finished, it was completed. So by now you're probably getting the picture that not everything my mother did was good. I will tell you that I've tried to break away from my mother in the past years. For many years, really, I've been off and on with my mother. She's always available when I call her. She's always ready to take a call. If she's not there, then she's going to get right back to me. She never bothers me. She doesn't pester me. She doesn't call me all the time. She asks that I write to her and send her emails or call her every now and again, but I've chosen not to, and I told her that I don't want to do that. And I've learned about this thing called enmeshment. You can call it emotional incest, where one parent has kind of a special relationship with their child, and it won't necessarily be physically sexual, but it will be emotionally sexual, you could say. And parents probably don't really know what they're doing. They don't really know that they're doing what they're doing. They don't know the gravity of what they're doing. I've believed that I am kind of the victim of that. I don't want to play the victim card, but I do want to realize what is going on with me, what is happening with me. And now I'll go back to the thoughts I had earlier when I was trying to make this video, which are, Theo, this isn't about your mother. I know that you want to make a video about how your mother has damaged you, but think of your father, Theo. Think of your father. Your father is really the culprit here. He's really you want to find someone who's a bad guy. It's your father. And then I started thinking of all the things that my father has done, all the ways that he, was a bad example for me and didn't really teach me anything good. And I think there's some truth to that. I'm not going to say that everything that's wrong with me is caused by my mother. And even then, at the end of the day, I can't blame her, because the truth is that I just don't want to forgive her. I don't want to go through my feelings that I have towards her. I don't want to undo the stuff that's inside of me. I can't even realize any pain that might be inside of me as a result of my relationship with my mother. And I was going to say that earlier, which is, and now I just had a thought, and it's gone. I had a thought, I was going to say it, and it's gone. I don't know why that happens like that. Maybe it's too hard. Oh, I think this is what it was. I brought this up to my mother. I said, we might have had some enmeshment, some emotional incest, and she's just denied it right off the bat. I don't know what you're talking about. I wrote letters to her. Well, not letters, one letter. And she said, I really don't agree with this letter. And, I think to myself, what do I know? What do I know? And maybe she's right. And I think that if she is right, then I'm kind of crazy. And if she's wrong, then, I really can't. I've got such a commitment to my relationship with my mother that I can't say that she's done anything wrong, and I want to trust everything that she says. Um, so I don't know what I'm going to title this video. I think I was going to title it "Women Who Tie Their Worth to Child Rearing," which is childbirth and child rearing. I mean, it's something that only women can do, as far as having a child, you know, becoming pregnant and having a child. And I guess for whatever reason, God wanted to give this talent, it's not a talent, but ability to one sex. I don't understand the ways of God, but I think that a lot of women think that they're doing right by sticking so close to their children and like taking care of everything and solving everything. I remember asking my mother once, her thoughts on motherhood and her life, and I think she had wanted to end her life many times, or she had very many suicidal thoughts. She never really acted them out, but you know she had many thoughts, as I understand, women will think about it more, or maybe not more, but as much as men, but they won't act it out as much. So I don't know what that means. But she never carried it out, and I asked her what made her go forward, through all her struggles, and she said, "I had to raise 4 children for God." Whew. Just thinking of that, it seems so wrong to me now. Because really what it means is that she's not a unique person. She's not a human being made by God with unique talents and abilities. She is a mother. That's her role in life. And I don't think that's the role that women need to have for themselves. I think it's wrong if they focus on their motherhood potential. And honestly, if I had the opportunity to raise kids, I would want to see them able and self-responsible by age 5. And everyone I tell that to thinks I'm crazy. I mean, I'll say that I want them to be able to clean their own room. I want them to be able to work for themselves. Maybe not fully, but, I want them to have some income. I want them to know how to work, and I want them to foster a desire to work and to help other people and to, be a self-independent agent in the world. And I want them to know that they can have an impact on the world by age 5. And I want them to be able to cook for themselves and clean up after themselves. I want their room to be immaculate. And because that's what they want. I'm not going to force them to do it, but that would be my goal, is to, help foster that desire in themselves and see that, a tidy, cleanliness is next to godliness, and a tidy room makes me feel better about myself and, what I can do in the world, and keeping themselves, my sister ties her children's shoes because, I mean, they can do it themselves, but they don't want to. They want that connection with their mother. They want their mother to do it for them. That would never happen with myself and my children. I don't want to blast my sister, but, I want them to put their clothes on by age 3, and be able to take care of themselves. I would like to live in a world where they can go on the bus alone by age 5. And that sounds crazy to many people because, Theo, there are pedophiles out there. Theo, there are people that will take your children. But I believe that I can teach them what I need to teach them for them to be safe. But that would be child endangerment and neglect, and I'm not allowed to do that with the laws we have today. Maybe I would anyway. Maybe I would test those laws. But yeah, that's the main heart of what I wanted to say. And yeah, it just came to me this morning that I really wanted to talk about this. And I hope that the women out there that struggle with the issue of they really have this burning desire, which they think is a loving desire, to take care of their kids. I mean, for me, I don't want to so much, mother or smother or father my children. I want to be a part of the growth of this beautiful young child and set them free. And, if they contact me now and again, that would be great. But I wouldn't really care about, constant communication, or I wouldn't keep up with them all the time. And that's one thing my mother would do, is she worried fiercely about me. And I think that's wrong too. So I hope that women can realize and find their own unique worth and not tie their worth to mothering, and discover their own abilities and talents and their own artistic ability and express that. So that's basically my video. Thanks for watching.